Okay, it's 12:01. Let's get started. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Looking forward to just spending just a few minutes today, syncing up with you all and practicing some positivity here. So I was thinking about today. Tuesdays is sort of, I think of it as like attention training Tuesdays. So quick reminder: when we pay attention, what we're in essence doing is when we choose to do what we're about to do is we are intentionally using our mind. So this willpower that we have to say, okay, this is something that I'm going to intentionally do in this moment. And the more we do this, the more we repeatedly activate this particular part of our brain that we're going to activate in this session, the easier it becomes. Like we're literally myelinating, we're creating new connections and strengthening those connections within those networks that allow us to pay attention in this particular way. And I've used this phrase before, but attention is a kind of superpower. Our ability to harness our attention and focus where we want it to be can literally be the difference between a blissful experience or a complete nightmare. And so there's this very real. This is how I would summarize this. How we pay attention to the present moment determines the character and quality of the experience that we're having, and therefore ultimately the quality of our life. So whatever we're doing moment by moment, as we're if we're able to consciously choose what we want to focus on and pay attention to, completely it creates the fabric of our subjective experience. And now the reality is most of us are in the default mode. Network is active throughout most of the day, and we're just kind of bumbling along. And we're again, this is our human biology has been primed to do this. So it's not a bad thing, but it is something to become aware of, that as we go through the day and a loud noise happens over there and our attention is immediately drawn to it, which is good, and that's how our ancestors survived. But then there's also this element of, gosh, how many other things like this are constantly pulling at my attention? And you add in, difficult coworkers or family members or whatever your life circumstance might be, the dog barking next door, the incessant stream of social media. And before you know it, you're spending hours and hours throughout the day paying attention to stuff that is not of our choosing. So today's objective is to um, practice activating this part of our mind that can choose to activate these two very distinct types of attention. So yesterday when we did our mindfulness practice, what we were doing is we were basically practicing what I would call diffuse attention, this ability to hang back and simply notice. It's almost like we softened our mental gaze, and we just allowed whatever was popping up in our mental field to just happen and to simply notice it. And then when we would notice distractions, to gently bring our attention back to this observer or witnesser state. So we weren't focusing on anything specific other than the moment by moment experience of what was going on in our mind and our sensory uh, field. Today, we're going to actually narrow that attentional focus. We're going to focus on specific things and try to keep our attention there. So this would be the equivalent of being in a noisy environment, like in a train station or something like that, and your friend is trying to tell you something really important, right? So suddenly you're able to block out all of this distracting noise and simply focus all of your attention on what this person has to say to you. That's what focused attention allows us to do. And then there are other times where we actually want to do the opposite. We want to keep our wits about ourselves and notice that, oh, there's all these things going on around me. So just a reminder, these are two very, while they are both involved, they're stimulating very different networks in our brain. And I think both of them are really worthy of our, pun intended here, attention, so that we can get better and better at choosing which type we want to activate when. So I'll sort of bounce us around in our session today and see if we can just curate that awareness of what the difference is. So as per usual, let's close our eyes and start by noticing where we are in this present moment. I know Carol was in her car driving. I'm actually sitting on the floor today rather than at my desk. And so some of you may be sitting in chairs. And so wherever you find yourself, just notice where your body is in space and time. And just for a moment, ask yourself the question, are my mind and my body in the same place? Or what would it take to get your mind and body synced up in the here and now in this moment? So often our body is in one place and our mind is in a completely different place. There's just a general sense of dis-ease that comes with that split. So right now, let's see if we can notice contact with the ground, body breathing, and then let's bring our full attention to our eyes and just take inventory of your eyes in this moment. So feel your eyes, sockets, notice movements. Our eyes are usually moving all the time. So just notice any movements in your eyeballs. Quick reminder, you're not trying to change anything. There's no like right way for your eyeballs to be right now. We're just bringing our full attention to what are our eyes doing, noticing movement, any colors, any shapes, shifting your attention to your jaw. If it helps, you can use your hands just for a second to actually touch your jaw muscles and just notice. They're really powerful muscles that oftentimes hold a lot of attention. And just notice for a second. Bring your attention to your jaw, allowing your mouth to maybe drop open just a tiny bit, just relaxing your jaw muscles. And now shifting your attention back to your eyes. Again, noticing movement and color, and noticing the difference of sensation. Like your eyes feel very different than your jaw. Now moving our attention to the inside of our mouth, to our tongue. You can move your tongue around the inside of your mouth just to amplify the sensation. Maybe touch the roof of your mouth, the inside of your teeth. And shifting our attention back to our jaw, big muscles. This is an example of focused attention, moving from one object of attention to the next, and focusing completely on that. Now the invitation is to zoom out and sort of soften that attentional gaze and just notice what it's like to be in your body again, sitting in your car, sitting in the chair, not focusing on any specific body part, but just whole feeling of just being present in this moment in a body. This is what we call diffuse attention. Maybe noticing a little bit of your surroundings, any ambient noise, and then reorienting our focused attention, this time on your ears, starting with your left ear. Just see what is your left ear experience in this moment? And then shifting to the right ear. Again, I'm not expecting anything majorly dramatic to be going on with either of your ears, but it's just notice what it's like to shift that focused attention from one ear, left ear to the right ear. Now moving your focused attention to your forehead, right between your eyebrows. Now shifting back to diffuse attention, just noticing what it's like to have a head with all of these different body parts that we've been focusing on, but not focusing on any one of them in particular, just feeling of a head sitting on your neck, your shoulders, and then again, your whole body just taking up space in a chair, in your car, on the floor. Again, noticing your body in space and noticing your surroundings without opening your eyes, but just sensing into sounds and sensations, so the water that your body is swimming in. And finally, reactivating our focused attention. Let's focus on our breath. So take a deep breath in, and exhale all the way, noticing the sensations in your belly and your chest as you do so. And then hold that exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And deep inhale. Exhale through the nose. Again, paying attention to your belly and your chest. And then go ahead and open your eyes. And welcome back to the session. It's time. So I could keep doing this for probably another 15 or 20 minutes easily. You're welcome to keep going. And the idea is just to kind of keep doing a scan of different body parts and just The invitation is to notice what happens when you flex these two similar yet very different muscles, where you're focusing on something specifically and then relaxing and softening that attentional gaze and opening it up and then refocusing. The more we do that, the easier it becomes to apply that to other parts of our life. And it's a pretty cool skill to be able to use on demand. Hope that was helpful. Take care, everyone. Hope to see you tomorrow.